There are two types of people in this world. Those who feel energized by noise, by movement, by constant interaction, and those who feel relieved when the world finally slows down. If you prefer cats, you're not just choosing a pet, you're choosing a rhythm. You're choosing an atmosphere. You're choosing the kind of nervous system you feel safest inside. For decades, cat people have been misunderstood. Cold, detached, antisocial, the quiet one in the corner, the one who leaves early, the one who doesn't perform excitement loudly enough. But that stereotype was never about cats. It was about discomfort. Modern culture rewards visibility. Express yourself, post more, be louder, be available, react quickly, respond immediately, signal emotion clearly. And anyone who doesn't operate that way gets labeled as distant. But here's the truth. The absence of noise is not the absence of emotion. It's regulation. Many people who love cats are deeply observant. They track subtle changes in tone. They notice micro-expressions. They sense shifts in emotional atmosphere long before anyone says a word. They may say less, but they notice more. And because their nervous systems are already processing so much information internally, they don't need more stimulation to feel connected. They need less. Research shows that cat lovers tend to score higher in openness to experience, which means curiosity, imagination, tolerance for complexity. They don't need everything simplified into loud, obvious categories. They're comfortable with ambiguity. They can sit with emotions that don't resolve immediately. They can think deeply without needing constant validation. That kind of mind doesn't thrive in chaos. It thrives in space. They also tend to score lower in extroversion, and that's where the misunderstanding begins. Lower extroversion doesn't mean social incompetence. It means social interaction costs energy instead of generating it. It means after a long conversation, you need silence. After a crowded event, you need solitude. After emotional intensity, you need decompression. And cats match that psychology perfectly. They don't escalate energy. They don't demand constant feedback. They don't need reassurance every 5 minutes. They coexist, quietly, predictably, without intrusion. At some point, this stops being personality and becomes physiology. Some nervous systems are highly responsive. They scan constantly: sound, movement, mood, expectation, disapproval, subtle tension in a room. For someone wired this way, a barking dog, a chaotic environment, or constant emotional demands don't feel exciting. They feel intrusive. Cats don't intrude. They enter a space slowly. They leave without drama. They approach without assuming ownership of your attention. And that matters more than people think. Because for many cat lovers, safety isn't about intensity, it's about consent. Human relationships are filled with invisible contracts. Text back quickly, match my emotional energy, show enthusiasm, prove you care, explain your mood, clarify your silence. For someone who is sensitive, introspective, or easily overstimulated, that negotiation can be exhausting. Cats don't negotiate like that. They don't demand performance. Affection is offered, not imposed. If a cat sits beside you, it chooses to. If it leaves without accusation. That kind of dynamic models something rare: closeness without pressure, connection without performance. And for people who learned early in life to regulate themselves, to stay composed, to not burden others, to manage emotions quietly, offering care can feel safer than receiving it. Cats allow that. You can nurture them, protect them, care for them, without being emotionally overwhelmed in return. But there's something even deeper happening. Cats trigger what researchers call baby schema. Large eyes relative to the face, rounded features, small nose, soft movements. These cues activate caretaking circuits in the brain automatically, before you think, before you decide, before you interpret. Warmth is released, protective instinct follows, and suddenly that small predator feels like something you want to shield.
But it doesn't end there. The purring matters. A cat's purr operates at low rhythmic frequencies. Your body responds before your mind does. Breathing slows, muscle tension softens, stress hormones begin to drop. For someone whose nervous system is often in a state of quiet vigilance, that's not just pleasant, it's regulating, it's grounding, it's a biological downshift. And when your body learns that a certain presence consistently brings it back into balance, attachment forms naturally. Not because you decided to bond, but because your physiology already has. So maybe this was never about cats at all. Maybe it's about how your nervous system experiences the world. Maybe it's about how often you've had to adapt. Maybe it's about how exhausting constant performance can feel, and how rare it is to exist in a space where nothing is required of you. Cats don't test loyalty. They don't demand enthusiasm. They don't confuse intensity with intimacy. They simply exist beside you. And for some people, that quiet coexistence feels safer than anything louder ever could. You're not cold, you're selective. You're not distant, you're protective of your internal pace. You're not antisocial, you're sensitive to overstimulation. And that sensitivity isn't weakness, it's awareness. If any part of this made you feel understood, that's not random. This channel is for people who experience the world deeply, but quietly. If that sounds like you, subscribe. And tell me, what do cats give you that the world often doesn't?